What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. Hope you're having a good day and week. I am doing a reaction today. And Ray Stevens, everybody knows Ray Stevens, if not by name, by some of his songs. Of course, The Streak was his biggie. I was a kid when that came out. I was so young then, I guess I didn't even fully understand it. I figured it out later, though. I'm doing Too Drunk to Fish. And Ray Stevens, when I was in Nashville a couple of years back was the last time I was in Nashville, but he's got a place right there on Music Row. Like, I was at 19th or something like that down there. And he's got his own little building. I was looking at buying a commercial property down there some years back. I didn't pull the trigger, which I now am kicking myself over, but that's the nature of life. I think he was born in Clarkdale, Georgia, at least a bit of information I saw. And he went to Georgia State University, the Panthers. So he may not like this hat, but I am wearing a Georgia hat, so at least I'm in the vicinity. This is requested by George Jones. Not that George Jones, but a George Jones. So George, shout out to you. Let's see why he's too drunk to fish. It's like Jaws.
Now me and Harold, this buddy of mine, decided that we'd go fishing one time. So we drove to the lake with my brand new bass boat. I brought the fishing poles, the pork and beans, the saltine crackers and the canned sardines, and Harold brought all the booze one man could tote. While I loaded the boat and filled the tank and tried to get that motor to crank, Harold just sat there sipping on a long neck beer. While I was steering the boat and tying the plugs, he was drinking moonshine straight from the jug, and he was singing Melancholy Baby when we left the pier. Whoa, never go fishing with a man who has been drinking, 'cause things just might not work out like you wish. Just leave that fool at home to drink, he'd be just as happy fishing in the kitchen sink. Don't go near the water with a man too drunk to fish. Well, I was concentrating, perfecting my cast, hoping to land a trophy bass, and Harold was having trouble trying to find the lake. Laying there beside him at his feet was an anchor line, coiled up real neat. Harold saw it, white as a ghost, and hollered, "Snake!" Well, he jumped straight up and began to yell. I said, "Sit down, Harold, and behave yourself. Can't you see that ain't nothing but a piece of rope?" But he was scared to death, plumb out of his mind, trying not to get bit by that anchor line, and he grabbed my shotgun, blew a hole in the bottom of the boat.
Why do you have a shotgun on the boat? Why did he have a shotgun on the boat? Unbelievable. The only time I had grain alcohol once at a party. And same thing as moonshine. I couldn't believe it. You don't taste it. That was the wackiest thing. Like when you had Southern Comfort, Jack Daniels vodka, any other alcohol, and you mix it in with lemonade or any other thing, you taste it. Grain alcohol didn't taste it. It was the only time in my life that I remember part of the experience that I was conscious at one point, and I couldn't get my legs to work. And that was it. I'm like, I'm never touching this again. I didn't even know what it was when I was at this one party. Somebody put it in the punch, and I didn't taste it. So I don't know how this guy's picking up a shotgun.
Harold! Never go fishing with a man who has been drinking, 'cause things just might not work out like you wish. Just leave that fool at home to drink, he'd be just as happy fishing in the kitchen sink. Don't go near the water with a man too drunk to fish. Now, too drunk to fish is too drunk to swim, so I was dog paddling and dragging him, and finally made it to a little sandbar just big enough for two. And it was way after dark when that helicopter came with that big searchlight calling our names, and Harold looked up at the sky and said, "Lord, is that you?" And then he knelt there in that heavenly glow and said, Lord, you know I ain't ready to go, so if you pass me by tonight, oh, I will reform. And then they threw down a raft and I paddled us home, and he never touched a drop from that moment on. You know the Lord works in mysterious ways, his miracles to perform. Never go fishing with a man who has been drinking, 'cause things just might not work out like you wish. Just leave that fool at home to drink, he'd be just as happy fishing in the kitchen sink. Don't go near the water with a man too drunk to fish. Don't go near the water with a man too drunk to fish.
That's ridiculous. It's good. The whole, I do wonder though. Sometimes stories like this are fleshed out of one event that actually happened. Not the whole story, but just some guy was so drunk couldn't even get on the boat. And maybe Ray was with somebody and he decided to create a whole different narrative around that thing. Maybe just completely made up the whole thing. But what do you say? I mean, that's what Ray Stevens does. I think he was, his music is comedic, but he may have been a comedian. But he wove that story in there good. I like the helicopter twist with him thinking it was the Lord and all that. Like, when you have a creative mind like he does, you leave a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor, but it goes everywhere. You could go any different way, but that's a novelty type song. I'm going to leave it be. I'm not going to rate it. I'm not going to rate it. I'll rate it. I will. I'll rate my experience with that song. There's no basis of comparison, but I'm going to go with an 8.5. Yeah. It's above an 8 for sure, but it's not a 9. It's just this creative fun. I don't even know what a Ray Stevens concert would be like. Like, does he have serious songs? I bet if he wrote serious songs, he'd be like a Warren Zevon type where he could go deep. Because that's the creative brain like this is also capable of going into other places, All right, George Jones, thank you for that. I think if I don't have nightmares tonight, thank you. So that's it. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you in another video. Have a great day and keep rocking the country.